you will own nothing and be happy. Many people have heard that ominous quote, but I think many times it's perceived as something that will occur in the future. But I think that statement is very true today. There aren't very many things that people own that actually have value. In any common household, there's not a whole lot inside of it that could be sold for a profit down the road, or at the very least, break even on. Today I want to talk about every common person's ability to stack silver and gold in the future. The cost of living continues to rise along with the rocketing price of precious metals. So without further ado, let's take a minute to talk about the disappearance of stacking silver and gold. Let's get into it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe as we push hard for 7,000 subs. I hope everybody's doing well out there and getting closer to their stacking goals. I'm doing my best to work towards mine. One great place to work towards your stacking goals is PIMBEX.com. They're the sponsor of today's video, and they've been so kind to reach out and sponsor the 49's Fine channel. So if you guys would like to support the channel and pick up metals at cheap prices with secure shipping, check out PIMBEX.com. First and foremost, I think it goes without saying that stacking is gaining popularity. At least, I think it is. Stackers make up a very small portion of the population, and it would be excellent to see those numbers double and triple. But the reality is that homes are getting more expensive, utility bills are getting more expensive, and silver and gold are getting more expensive. The overall space in the average American adult's budget to stack hard value and heavy weight is getting thinner and thinner and thinner over time. And as spot prices rise alongside that, I do feel that it will get to a point to where stacking is something that the average person simply won't be able to do. Now, it may be 2 or 3 decades before this reality manifests itself. I do still feel that the days of owning tangible physical assets that represent true value are coming to an end. Now, this certainly isn't a doom and gloom video. There is a silver lining to this, and that is that tangibility is going to become extremely valuable. And the reason it's going to become so valuable is the simple law of scarcity. Industrial demand is going to drive up the prices of silver. Financial stress and the degrading buying power of fiat currencies all over the world is going to drive up the prices of gold. But there is a third element that I think will come into play here in the near future, and that third element is tangibility. The ability to hold something of value physically in your hands, not on some digital bank account where it's a bunch of binary ones and zeros on your smartphone, I think will play a very big role in pushing up prices even further. Now, tangibility has its value now, but whenever the silver shortages all around the world become more and more common, and as inflation continues to eat away fiat currency and retail buyers discover the wealth preservation powers of gold, that tangibility element will become more and more relevant. If we take a look at real estate, most first-time home buyers aren't acquiring their first home until their late 30s, and that average age is only going to increase over time. The idea of 50-year mortgages is being thrown around, and to me, the writing really is on the wall that owning your own assets is not going to be something that people will be able to do in the future. I wouldn't be surprised that if in the future, whenever smart cities get developed and artificial intelligence is ingrained in every level of our societies, that owning your own vehicle won't be something that's viable anymore. Rather, there will be public transportation that takes everybody everywhere. Now, this does seem rather dystopian, but like I said earlier in the video, there is a silver lining here. And that is that those of us that took the time and effort and discipline and dedication to stack up as much weight as possible, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, will be in a very good position in the future. And I think in some areas of the world, not only will you be your own bank, eventually you will be the bank. People are going to reject the digital system eventually. Eventually it's going to encroach on our lives to the point that we don't want every single transaction to be tracked. We don't want where our money is to be traced. And I think that people will rely on some form of barter and trade system. I wouldn't put it outside the realm of possibility that in the future that the purchases of assets like land and real estate will be done in silver and gold to fight back against the digital currencies that we may be forced to use in the future. After all, a seller can sell their property for whatever price they want, and if there's a few ounces of gold exchanged behind closed doors, then that's none of the government's business in my opinion anyways. So the idea that you will own nothing and be happy in a lot of ways is already true. Which one of your belongings could you sell for a profit and not take a loss on? If you look around, there's not very much of it. There's things like freedom dispensers, jewelry, and maybe a few other things, but aside from that, the average household doesn't really own anything that holds its own value. Some could call it optimism, some could call it negligence to accept reality, but the truth is that these systems are being developed. Digital currencies will come to fruition. The penny has been eliminated from production. 50-year mortgages may seem like a joke right now, but they will definitely become a thing in the future. And I feel that a lot of the time, some people like to think of these bad things happening down the road. That's 10 or 20 or 30 years away. But in my opinion, these things are happening right now. These systems are being developed. We're headed towards de-dollarization. Therefore, the time to prepare is right now. I'm not trying to influence anybody's buying or selling decisions. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and make up your mind after you feel you have a good grasp on things. But it is important to acknowledge, in my opinion, that we are seeing signs every single day as to where we are headed. And I think tangibility plays a huge role in that. Whether that be land, real estate, or precious metals, I think it's good to own something that is undeniable and ingrained in reality. If money develops digitally to a point that it doesn't actually have any presence in our physical world, it makes me feel like it's something that I don't really have very much control over at all. And that's where silver and gold stacking comes in. You can be your own bank, you can have your own control, you can establish your own freedom, your own forms of value that have stood the test of time for thousands of years on your own without any government entity sticking its grubby hands inside of it. But where it stands, like I said earlier, with the cost of living increasing more and more, with the ability of everyday common Americans to purchase their own home becoming less and less common, with fiat currency being devalued more and more, and with silver and gold prices shooting higher and higher and higher, and will likely continue doing so, it really does give me the impression that the ability to own something tangible is going to disappear eventually. But like I said, these are our times to prepare for the future ahead. I'm not a metals pumper, but I do have a feeling that your 1 ounce of gold or your 1 ounce of silver that you own will not only preserve its value past inflation the way it has in the past, but it might also triple, quadruple, and quintuple in value as we move into the future. Industrial demand for silver, financial instability pushing up the price of gold, and the element of tangibility all combined together, I think is going to create a very bullish environment for the metals for many years to come. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. So is silver and gold stacking gaining popularity? I think yes, but is it also something that may disappear in the future simply because it's not price approachable? Also, yes. I think what's important is that we try our best to be on the right side of history so that we can not only preserve our wealth and finances, but our freedom as well. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think prices and cost of living will get to a point that it squeezes out retail buyers in the future, maybe 10 or 20 years from now? Let me know down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, keep stacking, stay safe. Peace.